Now we're here to talk specifically about your overseas club, your club, the New York Islanders that you played for in the USA. When did you get involved with them? How old were you? What was the backstory there?
When I first went to the US to go to college, I went to Medgar Evers College right after Commermere, and I would have sent out an email just looking to see if I could find a club to bounce on, to play some hockey. I would have left Barbados in January, and I wasn't too certain of how the season was scheduled on in New York. And I thought I would have been going just to play outdoor hockey. Yes, I know it snows in New York and there's a winter period, but I wasn't thinking that there was not going to be no outdoor hockey. So after they replied to me online, they told me someone would come and pick me up in the morning, and they took me to an indoor tournament. Let me first correct it by saying it was the Big Apple, New York Big Apple Flickers that picked me up first. We would have played about 6 games, I should say. And it wasn't a good showing because I had never really played indoor hockey in Barbados. I would attest that I did hold the most goals in the tournament, that particular tournament. I would give these stats also because I'm not ashamed about it. It was something that I look back at and said it would never happen again. I played 6 games and 49 goals scored on me indoor. I had no understanding of the game of indoor as a goalkeeper, having to run to the top of the circle for short corners. My angling was a little bit off because the ball was moving so much faster now. I didn't know about actually going out and making spaces smaller, and the ball, as I said, the ball was moving so fast. So I was literally out of the tournament even before I got there. Within after that tournament, I remember one of the guys, Andre Ferguson, he was taking me home that night. And I think when he first picked me up, man, he heard that I was playing for the junior team for Barbados. He had expected a much better goalkeeper. But when he saw what was going on, he was like, what's really going on here? So he spoke to me in the car going back home. And, since then, I would have told him that I don't want this year to happen again. And he said it wouldn't, he actually sat down through the course and spoke to me and told me this is what you're supposed to be doing and this is what you're supposed to be doing. And it was, at first it was a little bit challenging because I really couldn't understand the sport of the indoor aspect of hockey. I didn't like it, to tell the truth. That would have been in January. When it came to March, now that's the outdoor league starting. The Big Apple Flickers, they would have introduced me to Junior Mahorn. He was the president of the club at that particular time, and they actually welcomed me with open arms because he is a Commermerian also, along with John Boyce. Commermere is the school that I went to in Barbados. So they welcomed me to the club with open arms, and from there it just took off. These guys are mentors for me to this day. The things that they've done for me throughout my stay in the US pretty much made it a lot easier for me to adapt in wherever situation I was in. Even if it was school, I could answer questions. They would take me out places. They would even carry me to tournaments and pay for my accommodation, membership fees, and then they would not even be playing in the tournament. They would just pay for me to go and play with a team just to get the exposure.
It seems like quite a strong community ethos there. I've spoken to Andre Ferguson. I've spoken to Euclid Junior Mahon, and a few of the other guys as well, and they're all who will be appearing in this podcast series. And there seems to be very much an emphasis of providing opportunities, of giving chances to develop and to grow and to gain exposure.
Yes, that's true. I guess in the beginning, as any youngster going into a new country, there are always going to be setbacks. There are always going to be times that you're unsure about certain things, but these guys always led the way. It was always just follow me, they'll lead the way, just trust me. And that's what I did. There were times that I may have not agreed. As a youngster, you know, you go through phases. I had my hair high at one time. I remember Andre Ferguson was telling me, you know, you should probably just cut it. You know, you're going into the working world soon and you don't want people to, you know, judge you. And I couldn't see it at that particular time what he was talking about. But it's only as you get older and you look back, you know, it been we actually were set up on a couple of us that played for Islanders, the younger guys. We were set up in coaching stakes whereby you will go and coach at different high schools or colleges. And, you know, it probably might have been a little bit better if I had, you know, groomed up myself a little bit. But, you know, now that you look back, you get to see and understand what these guys were talking about.